And as gas prices go up and the economy starts to slow down, we face even more unemployment. I'm calling on President Obama to be prepared to release oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve into our economy when it looks like these gas prices might be stalling our recovery. But I'm also calling on the President to join us in a bipartisan effort to do away with the tax breaks that many of the major oil companies already enjoy. Now just keep in mind, the big 5 oil companies in America are some of the most profitable companies in our nation, and yet we still continue to give them billions of dollars every single year in tax breaks. As far as I'm concerned, their exploration and production are important for our future. They have the capital. They have the money to invest for that purpose. We also have to understand, too, that we can't drill our way out of this problem. We want to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, but let's get down to the basics. The United States has about 3% of all the known oil and gas reserves in the world, and yet our economy consumes 25% of the oil and gas consumed in the world each year. So even drilling in every direction, if we did something that irresponsible, would not take care of our problem. We need to invest in clean energy sources and alternative energy sources. But to do that, we need research. 2 weeks ago, I went to Argonne National Laboratory. They developed the new battery for the Chevy Volt. That is going to be the future as far as I'm concerned, alternatives to fossil fuels. The new House Republican budget will cut the investment at the Argonne National Laboratory in energy research. How in the world can we cut investment in energy research at this moment in our history? If we're thinking ahead to reduce the cost of business, increase the number of jobs, and be competitive in the world, we need research, not just in energy, but in the field of medicine and so many different areas. So let's not be short-sighted when it comes to these budgets. Let's make the critical investments for our nation's future and for the economy of the 21st century. At the current moment, as families and businesses are facing these high gas prices, I'll be working with President Obama to urge him to release the Strategic Petroleum Reserves so that we can start stabilizing and bringing these gas prices down. Well, we need to develop better cars and better trucks, and we can do that. I think that the United States can lead the way when it comes to hybrid energy production, hybrid cars. In fact, we've seen in just the last few years a dramatic increase in the percentage of hybrid vehicles coming out of the United States. I drive one myself. It's much more fuel efficient than the car I used to have. We're moving in the right direction. We've got to develop a new automotive economy that serves the needs of our economy and the people who work in it, but also has a mind toward reducing our use of fuel and also our dependence on foreign oil. When we're facing a deficit and we have to reduce the cost of government, anyone can think of, I can think of a dozen good ideas for tax incentives, but I want to put it in perspective. This deficit has to be brought down. Spending cuts, taking a hard look at our tax code, making sure that we eliminate the waste and duplication in government are all key elements. But I happen to think that energy is essential for our economic growth. You talk to the CEOs of major businesses, and they say if we're going to be competitive in this world, we have to have affordable energy. So energy research, as far as I'm concerned, is a move in the right direction. And I hope that we can have a tax code that incentivizes. Germany's a good example. Germany has twice as much of their economy focused on manufacturing as the United States. Twice as much. And yet the wages they pay are comparable to the United States. What's the difference? Well, they have created incentives for energy efficiency, and secondly, they have a national health care system, which gives their businesses an advantage over the United States. So when you put it in perspective, there are things we can learn from other countries that will help us grow. Well, I think it's true, and I think the one thing that will push people is the whole notion of the expense, the market. The cost of gasoline at $4 will remind some people that the next car better be more fuel efficient. They'll think a little bit about it. Some of them will move to public transportation as an alternative as well. These are all moves in the right direction, and market forces have more of an impact than a lot of laws that we pass.